Are you being gaslit in your relationship, or are you the gaslighter? I'm Suzette the Marriage Warrior, and today we're going to talk about the definition of gaslighting, what you would feel, the intention of gaslighting, and we're going to debunk some of the things that are out there that are causing a lot of misinformation. Okay, first of all, if you feel gaslit, then what's going to happen is as you're YouTubing and scrolling and somebody says, well, if this is happening, it's gaslighting, you're going to be like, aha, that's what's happening in my marriage. My husband or my spouse is a gaslighter. Well, first of all, that's not always true. Gaslighting in its purest form of definition is related to narcissism. And I know everybody thinks they're married to a narcissist. Narcissism is a highly developed, manipulative personality disorder that has many characteristics that are manipulative in nature that are not just gaslighting. And some people feel like if you're switching a topic or if you're defending yourself and the other person can't talk, I'm talking about, cooking, and you're over here talking about the grass, and, you're gaslighting me. Listen, that's not what's happening in a couple dynamic. Gaslighting is a manipulator's intention to put you off and to mind control you. That's what gaslighting is really. And so when they're thinking, okay, I'm going to make this person feel this big, my goal is to put them underneath me, and this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to laugh at them when they're, giving me something that is a success story. I'm going to make them feel stupid, and I might even call them stupid. I'm going to reduce them under my control, which is mind controlling. And then you start to lose your identity. We call it a crazy maker, because you're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Now, just because your spouse may laugh at something you think is a good story and you feel like you're trying to get some affirmation from them and they just kind of chuckle, that's going to offset you, but it does not mean they are a narcissist. It means they either don't understand the whole concept that you're trying to talk about. They can't connect the dots like you connect the dots, in their own wired brain, especially males, will think, okay, that doesn't make sense. How's she going to even make money at that? I mean, that's like, really? You think you're going to do that? Now, is that a characteristic of impatience? Is that a characteristic of they think they know everything because they're not really listening to the whole story? Is that a characteristic of not being sensitive to your story? Yes. But that does not mean they are narcissist, because the amount of characteristics that you have to be a narcissist, or it's a plethora. And so the other thing you need to understand is narcissism has zero empathy. So like if you know that your partner on a good day or whenever y'all are not fighting and triggers and landmines are going off, and that's when you see that behavior, and they have empathy upon you about something, or they side with you, or they understand you on some level once you explained it to them, they can't be narcissistic, because narcissism at its purest form has zero empathy. I mean, it's right under psychopathology, which has no empathy at all, no sensitivity, no compassion, nothing. And so as we're kind of throwing this word around in some of these terms, what you need to understand is in a relationship dynamic, oftentimes the other person is just as hurt and want to be understood as you do. And if you're not giving room to listen and try to understand their perspective, and all you're doing is constantly bringing up what they've done to you, and constantly bringing up your pain, and constantly bringing up what they should do and what they're not doing and what you need and all this, and you're not giving room to the fact that there's two people, and they might feel like you should do some things, and they may have some needs that you need to meet. I mean, these are offenses that have gone on too long in the relationship that have not been brought to the table. And when things are not brought to the forefront, it builds and builds and builds walls. And so in walls, sometimes we're aggravated and we don't want to give that empathy. And we're like, you don't give me any empathy, so why should I give you? I'm not saying that's the right attitude. I mean, obviously we want to be in much more peace within ourselves. We want to be able to bring and offer some compassion and understanding when we get into a conflict. But it's typical for people to feel that way at first. And if it's going on, especially if your partner has tried to talk to you about some things before and it's blown up in an argument, and in arguments, we don't hear what is going on. In arguments, we're just trying to speak what we want to say because there's a trigger in the core. You can feel the trigger in the core pushing you to just defend yourself. And that conversation usually blows up and doesn't go anywhere. And if you have a cycle of that, then you could easily start to feel like you're shut down and you're being emotionally abused and you have no responsibility because maybe you're not really listening enough. So all of you who are pointing the fingers to narcissists and saying, I'm being gaslit, I would suggest that you back up a little bit and realize there might be a timeline. And any place that you can find where you might have done something to offend them, bring it to the forefront with your relationship. In your marriage, each person needs to feel enough humility rather than pride if you want your marriage to work, because it takes two. If you have someone that is just not willing to talk and just reduces you and is constantly reducing people around you and pushing people away from you just for the fun of it and not because they're sending you down a wrong path, then you have something to consider. That might be narcissism. If you want more content on narcissism or gaslighting or any of the characteristics of narcissism, and you want to clarify some of what's going on in this culture, just click the like button and subscribe and leave a comment and ask a question of whatever it is you need.